Okay, guys, I am super excited for us this evening to have our October monthly gathering tonight. It's going to be super exciting. We have some fun stuff planned for you guys, which includes some of our best leaders in our organization tonight are going to be doing a panel. And I am going to start with the questions. And then while you guys might be thinking of questions, just jot them down because we will be allowing time at the end for you guys to ask too. And what I hope comes from this is that by getting to know these leaders a little bit better, you're going to realize there's not two Scentsy journeys that have been the same. And you as well are going to have those same experiences. So I know when we look at like the Scent and Bliss group, for example, for the most part, we try to keep it all positive, and we do a lot of shout outs, and there's lots of recognition and a lot of celebrations because of course we want to recognize and to celebrate. But at times it can probably look like, oh, that's just so easy for them. You know, they just have it so good. And I'm never going to sell the 2000 PRV or sponsor 7 new team members. You know, I know it can sometimes seem like all of this just glory is always happening, but that's not real. That's just the part we put out on social media. We don't put all the other stuff because there's not a lot of real positive, uplifting encouragement that comes from talking about the other stuff. Okay. But it's real and it's genuine. And so tonight we are going to get very transparent and very real with all of you in hopes of helping you guys along your Scentsy journey. So in saying that, the first thing that I would like to do is I'm going to ask our panelists to do an introduction. So I'm going to call on each one of them, ask them to give us their name, where they live, when they joined, and I want to hear their favorite memory of Scentsy so far. So we are going to start with Amy. Miss Amy, if you could give us your little introduction, please.
I knew you were going to start with me, and you knew I wasn't prepared because I had to think about it, but I'm just going to go off the cuff. Okay. So hi, everyone. My name is Amy Denny. I live in Kansas City, close to the stadiums, actually. So people always say Raytown, but my address is actually Kansas City. And I joined in 2010, November 1st will be 12 years. And my favorite memory was Scentsy. Oh gosh, there's just so many. I'm going to have to go with the Alaska trip. I think that was probably one of my favorite. I did not think I chose the Alaska trip because that was on my husband's bucket list and I love to cruise, but I never really thought that I wanted to go to Alaska. And mark it down, Amber Dixon, I would go again, just so you know, because it was pretty darn amazing. And I'm a beach baby. So for me to say I would go somewhere cold again, it was pretty amazing.
Very good. Okay. And speaking of Miss Amber Dixon, you are next. Amber, can we please get your introduction?
Texas 183. Hello, can you hear me?
We hear you, yes.
Okay. So I'm sorry I'm driving right now. Sorry, guys. But so my name's Amber Dixon. I joined Scentsy in August of 2011. Sorry. My favorite Scentsy memory, gosh, there's like continue for 14 miles. There's a lot. Once you've been doing this long, there's a lot. I would say probably, okay, I'm going to give you like my top few. So probably my ultimate was meeting Heidi and Orville for the first time. And actually, it was very interesting. The first time that I met them was at an SFR. I'm going to try and make this quick. But we were in and Alex was with me, and we were in some type of breakout that Heidi and Orville were actually leading. And it was about including your spouse in your Scentsy business. And Orville literally sat there and talked to Alex for like 45 minutes, just one-on-one, just like talking about, supporting me in the business and just all the things. It was amazing. Like truly the most down-to-earth people you would ever meet in your life. And then, so my next would be probably going to Disney, because I had never been to Disney before and I earned that incentive trip. And I got to go with my best friend and my youngest daughter, and it was amazing. I had several of my downline that got to go too, and so it was just truly spectacular. And then probably after that would be, sorry, I know I'm windy, the Alaskan cruise, because I have always wanted to go to Alaska. I love the cold. And so my best friend got to go, and my hubby and her hubby, and we had a blast. And we met some truly amazing consultants that are going to be just lifelong friends. So that's all I have.
That is excellent. Okay, thank you. And drive safe.
Yes.
Please and thank you. Okay, Jackie, I have you up next.
I am Jackie Duran. I am a star director out of Lee Summit, Missouri. I joined Scentsy in January of 2012, and I officially recently got my 10-year badge from Scentsy, so I'm very excited and proud of that. So that is something that's very special to me. And I would say that my favorite moment with Scentsy thus far has been going to director boot camp. So boot camp 40 for life for me.
Very good. Angela, you are up next. Don't forget to unmute.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Angela McElwain. I am from Lee Summit. I joined in December of 2009, and oh gosh, I had never got to travel before Scentsy. I used to be scared to death to fly, but now they've had me do it so much, I'm kind of over it. But yeah, it used to be terrible, right, Tracy?
Mm-hmm.
I would say, like, I don't know, just the friendships that I've made. Gosh, I actually didn't have any friends. I know this will surprise you guys. I didn't really have any friends before Scentsy. Like, I had one. I'm not even kidding. But yeah, I would say though, my favorite memory would be, gosh, I'm going to have to say Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I was not excited to go to Africa. I'm like Amy. I like the beach. But everybody's like, oh, you got to go, you got to go. And so I was able to take my youngest son, who, I don't know, he was probably 19 or 20 at the time, 20. And so we have those memories and stuff. So it was great. But yeah, that would be my top for sure.
Very good. I would agree. That was probably of all the trips I've been on with Scentsy, South Africa was like, yeah, amazing. Lisa, we would love to hear from you. Lisa, tell us about you.
All right, my name is Lisa. I am from California. I joined Scentsy during the pandemic, so January 31st, 2020. And I don't know, there's so many favorite memories, but I think two that I can think of immediately would be SFR. So if you have the chance to go to SFR, you definitely need to do it. And then I've taken the payouts for all the incentives because they've all been during COVID. So I've taken the payouts, but just earning those trips and realizing that they're real and that you don't have to be in the company for 10 years. I mean, I joined years ago, well, like 2.5 years ago now, but you don't have to be in the company. You don't have to be at the top of the company to be able to earn these incentives. And I think so those are the two, being able to earn the incentives and SFR are probably my two best memories, but there's a ton.
Yes. How about you, Robin?
Okay, so I am Robin Hatfield. I live in a small town called Savannah, Missouri. It's like 15 minutes from St. Joe, so it works out great. Tim gets the country, and I still am close to shopping. And I actually joined October 1st of 2016, so I just celebrated 6 years with the business. And besides earning all the incentives, because I have earned 5, my all-time favorite memory was Scentsy Family Reunion at Salt Lake City, because I went by myself. I have no friends at all. And that trip relit something within my business, and I left making some great connections with people. connections as to we are like best friends. So that was very heartfelt for me, because Angela, she said she didn't have any friends until this business. Well, I was in the same boat. I had 0 friends. So that was like the cherry on top for me.
Very good. Okay, well, we're going to get started. So what I'm going to do is I have prepared some questions, and I'm going to be directing them towards certain people. However, that does not mean those of you that I don't specifically, if you can relate to it, feel free to hop in and again, add to it. But I want to start, we're going to start right out of the gate with Miss Amy and Amber. And so my question for them is, I know that as they said their join dates, they were with the company for about 10 years before they promoted to director. So my question to both of you is, I mean, that had to be frustrating because, there's the Lisas of the world that come in and right out of the gate promote, and the Cassies. And I mean, there are those people, and yet it took you guys 10 years. So why didn't you guys just quit? What made you keep going? Amy, you go.
Okay. Yeah. I promoted October 31st of 2020, which was 1 year shy of 10 years being in. So yeah, I was 1 day shy of being 10 years in before promoting. But okay, first of all, I didn't quit. When I first joined, it was not meant to be a business for me. It was literally meant to buy for myself. So I had no intention of working it as a business. It was, I wouldn't even say a hobby. It was just because I was buying so much of it. And so I wanted to just make money back off of myself. But then my sponsor ended up dropping out of the business after 6 months. And that was the best thing that could have ever happened for me. I'm going to try not to get emotional because I always do when I tell the story. I rolled up to Tracy, and we have become, she is like one of the sisters that I never had. And she believed in me more than I believed in myself. So without her and my husband, I wouldn't be where I am today, because I had some pretty dang awesome cheerleaders in my corner. And then I started meeting people like Amber, who is like my soul sister and my bestie, and Jackie and Stephanie and Katrina and Michelle Wells. I met her for the first time in person in California. And I had all these people in my corner cheering for me. And they're like, okay, you didn't get it this month, but you're going to get it next month. And it really did help having that team, that tribe. I found my tribe. I found my people. I found people that I wanted to be with, that believed in me, that I love hanging out with, not even just because it's Scentsy, like just to go to dinner or to go shopping or to do whatever. I mean, it does not have to be Scentsy related. I found my people. I mean, I've done events with like Angela, and we had the best time, and we laughed about stuff that had nothing to do with Scentsy. But I've done events with a lot of people, and it literally was finding my people, those people that were my cheerleaders and that were in my corner and that said, we believe in you. And so they got me started believing in myself. And to this day, I will still tell you, I have a hard time believing that I can do the things that I know I'm capable of, but I have a lot of doubt. Tracy, what do you call it? Stinking thinking. She tells me to quit my stinking thinking all the time. So I still have my people behind me cheering me on, but without them, I don't think I would be where I am today. Honestly, it's the people, honestly, it's the people and the friendships that have blessed me so much.
Well, I am thankful for that. Amber?
I love you. And I'm cutting you off, Amy Denny. So why did I not quit? Because quitting is not an option. First and foremost. So I didn't quit because I love Scentsy. Like, this is my fun place, my happy place. Like, all the people, all of the things, like all the smelly goods. I mean, like, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, seriously. So I didn't quit because, for one, I love my customers, and my customers kept reordering. So if I quit, who were they going to order from? And then somebody else was going to make that money. So, yeah, quitting wasn't an option. So there's that. And I love all you guys. So I can't go nowhere.
Well, I'm happy about that. Absolutely. So Jackie, you're up next. So Jackie, you didn't exactly come out of the gate real strong for quite some time. Things did not, people that maybe have just known you over the last couple of years are thinking, oh my gosh, Jackie this, Jackie that, she's got all that. It's all together. Everything's so great, so easy. That has actually been the farthest thing from the truth, because I've been around, of course, since the beginning of your journey. And so my question to you is, so what were some of the pivotal things in your journey that got you to where you are today?
I think it was believing in myself first and foremost, because I am somebody who feeds off of, I learned yesterday I'm an Enneagram 6, figured that out. But I'm somebody who feeds off like what I'm being told, which if I had 20/20 hindsight, I guess that would have worked better in my marriage, my previous marriage, but I digress. I was told that I wasn't going to be good at this business because I didn't do it the way that other people did it. And because for me at the time, my youngest, who's going to be 13, was only like 2 then. And I didn't have a daycare option. I worked full time and picked up overtime shifts and overnight shifts and all the things. And so I couldn't do home parties and the traditional work that per se that would happen. We didn't really talk or do like bag parties or basket parties that much back then. We didn't do Facebook parties back then. And so I had just resigned myself to, well, this just isn't going to be for me. And it was actually a conversation with Tracy when I was at probably one of my lowest with my journey in Scentsy, because I was going through a lot emotionally. And so I was ready to just throw in the towel. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I remember her telling me, I was on the phone and I was trying not to cry because I'm on the phone with Tracy DeMario, for goodness sake. And I'm like trying not to cry, but I'm so upset. And she's like, you cannot let anyone else take this business from you. And I was like, damn it, she's right. So I took that. I got up from crying and I was like, all right, I got to figure something out. And so I was on my path to determine that I wasn't going to let somebody take it away from me, because I had a smaller team compared to what I have now. But I had like 8 people, I think, on my team at the time. I was a lead consultant, and I literally put my nose to the grindstone and I jumped on YouTube. And I found some pretty amazing videos from Christina Stainbrook and Kimberly Pulido and Jessica Villarreal. And I was like, these are my people. These are my people. And I dove headfirst in, and that changed the whole trajectory, because that point on, when I worked it as a business and I realized it was something that was mine and mine alone, that's what changed for me. And then, I mean, of course, when I hit director, it was just an amazing accomplishment, because it took me a long time because I didn't have the faith in myself. So I could have quit. I would have quit. I probably was going to quit. But I didn't, I don't know. I guess there was just something in me saying that that wasn't going to be the end for me. And so here I am, and it's still not the end for me. So I'm still learning every single day.
Well, and I love that. And I think about, I'll just transition. This is a good transition, because had Jackie just decided that it was too hard, or she wasn't good enough, or she just couldn't make this happen, or she let someone else believe that she shouldn't be in this business, she would not have the fabulous director underneath her, Miss Lisa. So she would have never got to know Lisa. I would have never probably got to know Lisa. None of us would ever have had the blessing of having Miss Lisa in our universe. So Lisa, you are like you're a COVID baby director. So
Yes.
You happened during COVID. And so my question to you is, you have built an empire quite quickly. Like things, I mean, right out of the gate, man, you just have been on it. So can you explain or tell us, like, what do you think, how has that evolved for you? How has things just seemed to present themselves as they are?
Well, one, I have a great sponsor, Jackie. So she's always helpful. And then you're always helpful. So I always have somebody to go to when I need help. But mainly I think there's just, the only answer I have really is just truly loving the product, truly believing in the product, using the product constantly, having a passion that draws people in. I mean, people want to feel as happy about something as you do, as they see you feeling. So I personally feel like people buy into a feeling more than anything else. So I think that that's how we have evolved, is I just share how much I truly love it and how much fun I'm having, how all the awards that we get, all the recognition, the friendships, the places we get to go. And I think that that's helped me grow the most, probably of all things.
Mhm. Well, it is certainly fun to watch. I will tell you that. So, Angela, if I could, so for Angela knows this, and I know some of your team's actually on here. So Angela happens to have very consistently, her team is one of the top performing teams in the Bliss organization. So kudos to all of you guys. But Angela, I would like to know, so how do you communicate with your team? Like what type of communication do you have with your team? You're muted. Don't unmute.
I'm so sorry. I'm new. Um, I feel like you treat others the way you want to be treated. And so I'm just honest. I mean, I tell them the truth. And I think they know that they're going to get it straight from me, but basically just keeping the lines of communication open. Like I'm never going to pressure anybody, but I'm always here to help them. And I believe they all know that. You know, I also feel lucky because I have been a director for a very long time, like almost 12 years, long time. And I feel very fortunate that I have a great team. And so I've maintained.
Well, and that's the other thing too. One of the things I know Angela went, because I do a lot of events and I'll run into people that'll be like, oh, my consultant's Angela McElwain, or do you know Angela? You know, and so you have a very loyal customer base, many of which have been with you for your whole duration of your business. So how have you made that happen? What are your secrets to keeping your customers so loyal to you?
I just take good care of them. You know, I will say I don't deliver as much as I used to, but my life has changed over the last few years. But I do whatever I can to take care of them, you know, send them samples. I don't know. I think, again, I'm just real, you know, and I think that they gravitate towards that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that you are very dependable too. And I think that speaks volumes, especially, you know, unfortunately, not everybody has that same quality and being dependable. So they know when they call you, they're going to get their order in a timely manner. You know, that you're honest. I know that you always make sure they get the best value. I mean, I know some of the little things that you do. So, but I think that's appreciated as well. And that's what's helped you too.
Well, that's another thing too, like at events and stuff. And I think I got this from you, but I used to, you know, ask people if they had a consultant, and I wouldn't sticker stuff if they did. But then I started asking if they had a consultant that took good care of them. And you would not believe the stories that were told. I mean, somebody waited like 3 months for light bulbs. I mean, it's just crazy. Like they give money, they order stuff, and they still haven't received it. Like, I don't even know. A lot of them probably never did.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, Robin, I've got a question for you. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because Michelle's not on tonight. So, Robin, you probably have the largest family of all of our Bliss directors, with the exception of Michelle, who's not on. So, how in the world do you run your Scentsy empire around all of the needs? Because I don't know. Tell us your youngest to oldest, and how do you make that happen?
So my oldest is turning 13 and he plays competitive baseball. And then my youngest just turned 2. I will say my oldest 4, they go to school during the day. So it's just my toddler and I. And if y'all missed out on the monthly meeting last month, it's recorded. You'll have to watch it because I went over my full schedule and exactly what I do Monday through Thursday, because I only work 8 hours a week. Now, that's not saying that I'm not on social media and engaging, but business wise, I and Jackie laughs at me all the time because we collab a lot and I share lots of things with her. And she's like, will you slow down? I'm like, no, because I have limited time. I only have from 1 to 3 to work because that's when Kinsley is napping. Now, my schedule is flexible, so I can work while she's awake, but it's terrible because she's like screaming or dancing on the table. Like, we're not doing that. So I just have to be very intentional with my time. And it's a lifestyle. So when Andrew's at the ball field, I'm always videoing him so he can watch himself play back. I'll add that to my story, or I'll add that I'm at the ball field. Like, because of my business, I can get him to and from practices. I can get him to all of his games. I can pick up some of his teammates on the way because their parents work and can't get them there. I just had to pick up a teammate today, not because she was at work, but one of their kids was sick and she's like, can you pick up so-and-so? I'm like, absolutely. I will be there to grab him. And that's because I fit this business into my life and not my life into the business.
So that kind of goes along with the next thing I was thinking, and you kind of, so just maybe you can elaborate a little bit more. But so I know having that many children is obviously extremely stressful on just a normal set of circumstances, and then trying to run this business. So how have you handled all of the other stuff, that I'm sure that you have or are experiencing?
So I think because I have my schedule, I guess, set in stone, it makes my life easier. But I do come from a very trauma-filled past. So I grew up in a household with a dad who's an alcoholic. For a long time, that's how I coped with things, is I drank, to be quite frank with you guys. I was a teen mom. I had my oldest at 18. And so from 16, I've always worked. Mind your business. I've always had a full-time job. I've always been driven to want more, but I had held myself back from a very long time. Because when I was with my kids' dad, it was very abusive. And when I met Tim, it was like a night and day situation. And he was the one who told me to join Scentsy. And I think it's because he saw more in me than what I saw in myself at that time. And so I will say Scentsy has given me the confidence that I deserve, and that I've wanted. It's given me, well, just recently it gave me friendships. Like I said, I've never had friends. Being a teen mom, nobody wants to be your friend. Plus I was always busy working. And so mentally, it hasn't always been easy. Just before SFR, actually, I was crying on one of our leadership calls because my business I felt like it wasn't going how I wanted it to. And I got reinsurance from several leaders that I am a fabulous leader, that I can do this. Look how far you've come. And so sometimes this business can take a mental toll on you. So I would suggest finding that accountability partner or someone that you can go to and talk to. I talk with Jackie quite often. Like, that's my best friend. And that brings so much joy to me because I've never had a connection like that with somebody. And so I just feel really blessed that I joined this business 6 years ago and fought through all of the hard times and the time that I thought about quitting as a director. So if you ever feel like that, I would be more than happy to talk to you because I've been there, I've done it, and I've lived that hard life. So you can do hard things and you can push through it.
I've loved one of the things and that's interesting that I'm saying I love this part because I hope this comes out right. My point is that I hope what all of you guys are hearing is that Not one person has said from the time they joined that everything has been amazing and awesome and fabulous and easy. No one has said that. And that is reality for every single one of you. You all are going to have the business cycles. You're all going to have, I mean, I'm going to be transparent here, and I'm sure that all of you guys have probably got it too. I hope no one's ever got this, but I know that's not true. The reality is, as you see success in this business, no matter how small or how great, there will always be people that will want to tear you down. That is just the reality of humans, unfortunately. Now, we hope it's not in the Scentsy community, but sadly at times it can be. I mean, I've had hater mail, email from people, text messages. I mean, it is what it is. We cannot control their actions. We can only control ours. And I'm telling you guys that because that is just a part of building a business, but you can't ever let those bad days win, ever, because you never know when the next day you might sponsor a new team member or build a connection with a customer, or something really fabulous is going to happen. So you cannot let those things get in your way, but you have to know that that's real. And that's why I wanted to hear you guys here. There's been mental health struggles, friendship struggles, not having that good support struggles. Not everybody has a phenomenal spouse or partner or person in their life that's really supportive of their business. Yes, it's great when you do, but that's not always the case. So these are all real life things, but here's what we know is if you keep working through them and you build, like they said, tribe and those friendships and those connections, and you have those other people with you and around you, and you surround yourself by these people, then they are going to help you through the journey because they've been there, done that. We unfortunately have already learned lessons the hard way. We don't want you to have to learn all the lessons the hard way, although I assure you, you will have to learn some on your own, but you want to learn from that and use those around you to pick you up. So at this point, what I would really love is I would love to see if we've got some questions from some of you on the Zoom, because I could keep going, but I'd like for some of you guys to ask some questions.